loneliness, would you say, is more prevalent as a single individual compared to someone that's in a relationship, generally speaking?
You can be in a relationship and lonely.
Yeah.
You can be in a city and lonely. Yeah. You can be with a family and lonely.
Facts, dude.
Loneliness doesn't mean there's people around you. Loneliness means there's people you connect with, you know?
Damn. Yeah.
So, because I've had relationships before where I felt lonely, and I've had friends around me and I felt lonely. I didn't fit in, and you know, so you have to be with like-minded people and people you love, you can connect with.
Yeah, I never thought of that before. That's so true. Yeah. You can be lonely. And also, even if you're around people, because you have to have that connection.
It's crazy how the cell phones become a part of our lives as well, because during the pandemic, a lot of us have been isolated a lot, right? A lot of us have been isolated for 2 years or a year. And, you know, it's crazy because some people are alone, however, they're not, because they've connected with people, but they can still communicate through Facebook and social media. They don't feel as alone. Whereas if this was 20 years ago and they just had a telephone, they'd probably feel a lot loner. It's very interesting how the internet has changed that element of loneliness.
Dude, and it's so weird because before you just said that whole spiel, like what I was gonna get into was life as a single person is a bit lonelier. But now I don't know if that's true, because now that you said that, because I'm trying to think back throughout the years, and it's true, you can feel lonely even in a relationship. You know what, actually, I think Filipinos are more susceptible to the feeling of loneliness being single, because we've been to like 60 countries together, right?
Philippines is very social.
I'm just speaking off of my observations and anecdotal experience with different cultures, because like Americans and Europeans, they're very independent and they don't need to be around people as much. More Americans, since I have more of that knowledge, that's where I grew up. But Filipinos are such like a family-oriented, friends-oriented, just like community-driven society.
Yeah.
So that's what they're used to, is being around people.
Culturally, yes.
Culturally.
Yes. Like fiestas.
So I think that's why they are more susceptible to loneliness when being single. They might think that you're lonely because you're single, which is a huge misconception.
Yeah. Again, it's also it's a very, very tasty narrative to look at. It's a very like a lot of kids out there, a lot of people that are watching have the same. They can relate, you know, to it to some degree, and it's amazing to, like, you know, you're watching this in real time, and you want to be a part of it, to give advice or to throw your bone at it, you know, and so it's a very lucrative thing to watch, relationships in general. So But
you know, the audience, they like yearn for everyone being in relationships because they feel like that is a happier, just day-to-day life. Yeah,
it's like, you know,
which it is sometimes, dude. Yeah, it's a very complex situation and just topic, like thinking about this. Yeah, I think generally speaking for myself, being single, definitely you have more moments of loneliness that pop up.
Yeah, of course, because you're not 24/7 or next to someone, right?
It
can get kind of like you are prone to idle thoughts, perhaps.
Yes. However, the other side of this is there is an immense amount, or lack thereof, of stress and responsibility. There's so many things that a relationship entails.
There's an old saying we used to say back in the days, is like, when you're in a relationship, you sometimes long for it to be out of one, and when you're out of a relationship, you sometimes long to be in one. The human nature is never fulfilled. We're never satiated. We're always wanting what we never have. The grass is always greener
on the other side. It's just like, would you rather be lonely and sad or be in a relationship and mad?
Okay, yeah.
And, I'm just thinking positively right now. And, life is okay being lonely sometimes. Like, I'm cool with it.
But also, I mean, it's a universe of possibilities. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you're going to be mad. There's people out there that meet each other and they love each other and are great. There's people that are single for the rest of their lives and they're happy. Ultimately, it's what makes you happy. It's what you choose in your life. And as long as you're okay in the moment and you're feeling successful, you got people around you love, I think, you have a success. I mean, it's a video game, at the end of the day, and you pick your mission ending.
You guys, this journaling episode, by the way, is us picking our own brains and just kind of thinking our unconscious, subconscious, unconscious thoughts. It's just kind of like word vomit. So there can be a lot of error into what we're saying, but we're kind of just like...
There's a lot of word salad as well, so apologies for that.
Word salad, yeah. And we're also just kind of painting this abstract picture and kind of figuring it out with every brush of the stroke.
Yeah, and then we're also trying to articulate in the best way we possibly can because...
Oh yeah, we're trying to articulate this in the best way possible without people creating misconceptions or creating this miscommunication, because people are very susceptible as well to being like, oh, he's talking about this person, oh, he's talking about that person. We're not technically talking about any specific people. We're just going through our broad life understanding from the many hundreds, thousands of people that we have touched in our lives.
That's okay. I like that one. That's a good one though. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of people.
I hundreds or thousands.
No, I get.
People.
I 100% get what you're saying, and that's true. We're giving our thoughts on our experiences in life, and
that's all it is.
Do not correlate it to individuals.
Yes.
That is your own fictional creation.
But that's probably why the majority of people are watching or listening to this podcast, because they're coming from we could do a whole podcast on single life versus being in a relationship life, but I think I need a little more time to like completely understand it, because again, I was in a relationship for almost 5 years.
Right now, you've said your point regarding this at this moment in time.
Yes.
I think it's very good to the viewers to see his perspective shift in a number of months. So if you're listening out there, if you'd like him to come back to this topic, leave a comment, and he'll come back in a few months and you'll see his perspective change. And perhaps this is an interesting way to learn how a character develops. Yeah, and that's what the cool thing about this, this consistent journaling type of podcasting, which I don't do enough, but that's the cool thing about it, is you can witness as someone develops and see as their thoughts change and everything, and watch them improve. It's like a mental radiologue. Yeah, it is. I feel like productivity is the enemy of loneliness though, because I'm so productive on my own. And I think that allows me to not invite loneliness into my life, because I'm always doing something that makes me feel like I'm progressing. And I think you're more susceptible to loneliness if you're not being productive or bettering yourself or growing in some sort of way. What's up, everyone? If you want to watch the full video, it's on Spotify, link below, which now has video. For these particular clips, this kind of this journaling type of episode that we shot this all in one day on that same day. These are good to watch the full episode because there's so much you don't get out of this. And then, of course, we only put up the clip that seems somewhat juicy, that's going to make people think and cause reactions. But if you listen to the whole thing, you get some conclusions, and so you get a lot more well thought out ideas and stuff that me and my mystery guests say, who my mystery guest is not censored on Spotify. And fun times. See you guys on the next one.